Good morning, everybody.
Buenos dias.
It is 5:23 in the morning. We have breakfast from the gas station, but it is Superior gas station breakfast. And the car is packed with the doggo, the kiddo, husbando,
Drivo.
and we are heading up to the land. Stay tuned, guys. Shoes. I gotta put my shoes on. Hi friends, so we made it. It's been a long car ride. As you can see, we got a brush hog out and we're getting ready to start tearing up some brush. There he is. Oh no. Oh, it's amazing. Because even though we had this all cleaned and processed, it's going back. Slow down.
He hasn't drank since like 5 in the morning. No, like 4 in the morning. Hello.
Alright friends, the dog has been watered. The appropriate footwear is on. We are not wearing Crocs anymore. Crocs are only for the car ride. Let's go check out all the work that's being done. That's a big one. So this area, y'all, it had a hurricane not too long ago, and we were afraid that things may have gotten knocked down. May have been some damage in the area. I do see one tree fell for sure. You can see that. You see right there. I knew that one was going to come down. It was big, but it was dying. walking through here carefully. See the felled tree. Alright friends, so we were out here for a couple of hours and we were able to clear so much. Look at all of that. I know I'm out of breath and I apologize in advance. But look at all of that. It was all overgrown, trees everywhere. But we did manage, taking turns and fighting it to get it nice and clear, get that driveway going again. It's a lot of work, but we're getting it done. We were also able to mark the trees, sadly, that need to come down. They can't all stay. Eventually, we'll come back and get those, but not today. Today is not the day. Looking at that tree that fell earlier, that tree was struck by lightning. It's all burnt and crispy. So now we'll be back soon enough. Everyone's starting to build around this area, but now it's time to get in the car and get some rest. Good morning, friends. So we are back home. The trip to the land was spectacular, but then again, it always is. We did get a lot of work done, and then we died. No, we didn't. I'm just exaggerating, but we were so tired after all of that work, so we just kind of hung out in the hotel for a little while, got some rest. Nothing serious. We did just relax a little bit because we really just were exhausted. So we drove home yesterday, being Sunday, straight home, did laundry, picked up the house a bit, and cleaned up the car because Rex comes with us every time we travel, and Rex leaves a huge hair mess. No offense, buddy. He's actually gonna get a bath in a minute. But I just dropped off George at school, and I stopped at Target to pick up some milk and a couple of other things like some sugar and stuff. Today is a day where I need a lot of things working for me while I'm working. So I'm gonna take advantage. I'm going to set out the bread maker and the Instant Pot. Now I've really gotten into making homemade yogurt. I made a huge mistake and let my homemade yogurt turn bad. It went bad. I didn't make the second batch in time. So, okay, let me start from the beginning. So, we love the yogurt so much that I made a double batch of yogurt, but we couldn't eat it in time. So, it went bad. So, I had to buy a small container. Let me show you. I bought a small container of Chobani, and maybe I'm saying it wrong, but that's how I call it. Chobani Greek yogurt, non-fat, plain. This is the one that I like the taste of. And I'm gonna show you guys how I take care of making homemade yogurt. It's super simple. Once you get the hang of it, you can do it all the time. So I'm gonna have the bread maker out. I'm gonna have the Instant Pot making yogurt, and I'm gonna have some muffins made so that we have breakfast tomorrow morning. It's a lot to do in the next, like, what, hour and a half, but I'm gonna get it done. And I'm gonna bathe Rex. So I need to get those things started so I can bathe Rex, wash his beds, and we're good to go. Stick with me, we got a lot of work ahead of us. All right, friends, so I've got my trusty measuring cup here, and let me show you guys what I got set up here. I have my bread maker in the back, right there. And I have my Instant Pot right here. So, to the Instant Pot, this is what we're gonna do. Hang out with me right here real quick. Let me see, can you see? I know I have a hat on because my hair is crazy today, but we're gonna go with it. So I'm using 2 whole milk. You are free to use whatever milk it is that you choose to use. If you are non-dairy, by all means, I believe it works exactly the same. This really just comes down to the live cultures. You see? So that's 2. And then 4. I'd rather, since it has a shelf life, the homemade stuff has like a 7-day shelf life. I'd rather just make a quart and not have it go bad because I hate throwing out food. So I'm just gonna make a quart. Now, the Instant Pot has a setting for this. I'm not gonna use that right this moment. I'm gonna put it on, let me show you guys real fast. Okay, I'm gonna hit saute, start, and we are gonna heat this milk, stirring it consistently. Let me get my little whisk here. I want to tell you I bought this whisk at IKEA. I'll look it up and link it if I find it anywhere else, but I love this one because it works on the bottom. So I'm going to stir this consistently until it gets to 180 degrees. Once the milk hits 180 degrees, I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to let it cool, stirring constantly like that because you don't want any of this milk to stick. I'm going to cool it to 115 degrees, at which point I'm going to add a little bit of honey and some live active cultured yogurt, which is that Chobani I just showed you. So let's grab that as well. Bear with me, I'm like a little bit of a mess today, but it's okay. So if you see it, and let's see if you can, how it says that it has live active cultures, 6 live and active cultures. That's what you're looking for. Find one that you like the taste of. That's why I get these little ones, because we're gonna steal some of this to make more of our yogurt. And then what I'm gonna do is finish this for a snack later on with a little bit of granola. But let's bring this up to 180 degrees. I'm gonna be checking that temperature consistently. Put this back in the fridge. But I'm gonna be using an instant read thermometer, one of these guys. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. Just need a little thermometer. Every so often, check it, make sure we need it at 180 degrees. Okay, let that heat up. Let's get our bread going. Alright friends, so the bread maker, when you open it up, comes with one of these little guys inside. That's where the bread is made, and it brings little gloves, measuring cup and spoon. This little contraption is if you wanted to add like, what's it called? Like if you're making like a cinnamon raisin bread or nuts or anything to it, seeds to make a multi-grain, anything like that. You would add this in here, pop it into the lid, and then at a certain point throughout the bake time, it pops it open and it would mix it into the dough. It's really cool. This little nifty tool is to pull this guy out of the loaf when you take it out. So these are your dough kneaders. And all we're gonna do is, you see the little, I don't know if you can see it, let me change my direction. Right there. There we go. So we're gonna pop that onto that little guy there. Let me show you really quickly. There we go. So right in there, that's just gonna sit, and that's what's gonna knead the dough. Now we're not making a fancy dough or anything like that. We just need a little bit of white bread. And even though I've made it 9 million times, I still use the recipe book. So I'm just gonna make a soft bread. Let's grab the ingredients for a 1.5 pound loaf. Let me get that going. So, okay, that's another thing. So traditionally it calls for 240 milliliters of water and then 3 tablespoons of powdered milk. You're essentially making milk. So I'm just gonna add milk to it. Now again, you don't have to do this. This is me changing the recipe. And this cup, I don't know if you can see it right there, has all the measurements on the side. So we're just gonna go, and instead of adding water, I'm gonna add 240 mils of milk into the bottom. Now, this is important. The way that the ingredients are listed is the order you place them into your mixing bowl. So you add the liquid at the bottom. We're gonna need 2.5 tablespoons of butter. It does not have to be melted. And you can use something else if you wanted to. So that's 1 tablespoon. Two. And a sliver for the half. Now, you're seeing I'm not going crazy measuring this. I used to be nuts measuring, but since we make butter and we have it, I kind of weigh a little bit. You measure butter with your heart, right? Isn't that what Paula Deen used to say? So I'm just gonna go with it. So in here now, we need to add salt. And this calls for 3/4 teaspoon of salt. The measuring spoon, here's your tablespoon, here's your teaspoon. So we're gonna take it just shy of the tablespoon, of the teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon. Salt. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And 2. Very good. And then next, we have flour. I need 2.5 cups of flour. Now, use whatever flour warms your heart. If it is whole wheat flour, there is a special recipe for whole wheat flour. So you would have to make adjustments for the liquid because whole wheat does not necessarily translate perfectly. We grab a measuring cup. I only want a dirty one, so I'm using a 1/2 cup since it's 2.5 cups of flour. We grab the flour. So I'm gonna need 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Why do I count out loud? Because I will forget how many I started with. And then I'll start talking about something else and you can't start over again here. But that happens to me more often than I care to admit. Whatever. All right, next. And this is actually the last ingredient. This is our yeast. Now, if you notice, this is a bread machine yeast. It's a little bit different. It's still an instant yeast, but it is a rapid rise yeast. So for this, we are going to need 1 3/4 teaspoon. So a full teaspoon. And then I do like just shy of a half. If you get to a half a teaspoon, it is what it is, but just shy of a half a teaspoon. In on the top. That's it. We just have to go turn that thing on. So let's go turn it on. Here we go. So I'm just gonna, see, it's right in there. You need to lock it in place. I'm gonna just find it in there. Locked in place. Are you locked in place? Thank you. Very good. And then up here, we're doing a soft bread. So we need the number 1. We want it medium color. And we want a 1.5 pound loaf. That's 3 hours and 11 minutes. Start. There it goes. All right, our milk is getting steamy. Let's check its temperature. Okay, buddy. Let's see what we're at here. All right, we're hovering at around 160, so just a tiny little bit more to go. Stir, stir, stir. Perfect. So once we finish getting that milk up to 180 degrees, I'm gonna turn it off. It's gonna take about like 45 minutes for it to come down to 115 degrees. Now, it could work tremendously faster if I were to put it like in an ice bath or something like that. Oh, it's very dark in here. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I lost you guys for a second there. All right. So if you were to put it, say, okay, so if you were to put it, say, in an ice bath, it would cool down a lot faster. But I don't really want to do that. That's an extra step I don't have to do. So if it's just sitting there and it's just working for me patiently and quietly in the background, we're good to go. I'm as happy as can be. That's one less thing I have to worry about while I'm doing other stuff. All right. Let me move all these extra little gizmos out of the way. And we are going to get started on muffins. All right, friends, so I opted to scrap the muffins for another time and bathe Rex right now because at the end, the weather looks like it was about to turn and it was like about to rain. Honestly, it looked like it was about to pour rain and I was not for it. He needed a bath. It was time. It was time. So we took a moment and we did that. Grab here. So let me tell you a fun story before we finish making this yogurt, because the milk is at exactly 115 degrees. It's beautiful. Very excited. I love the smell of steamed milk, but that's just me. On our trip home, we take one of the back roads to get to the highway to come back home from our land. And I saw this little stand and said, what is that? So I made my husband pull over, of course, poor George. He had to pull over. And I looked, and it was a honey stand. Now, there was nobody there, and it said Honor System Honey. I've never seen anything like this. I'm from the city. We don't do honor system here. We do buy here, pay here. Like, it is, honor system's not a big deal. It's not something that I've ever seen. But she did have a money box that was secured, and a Venmo, and many options to pay with. I don't know if they had any cameras set up. I did purchase some honey because I wanted to give it a try. Here it is. This is really beautiful honey, and it's from the Honey Stand in San Mateo, Florida. And this is Gallberry honey. Now I had to look it up because honestly, I don't know everything. And we're gonna try it together right now. Now I looked up what it was. Gallberries grow native to the entire North American East Coast, from Nova Scotia all the way down to Florida and as far west as Louisiana. And they kind of look like little blueberries. Insert picture somewhere around here. Yeah. So we're gonna try this together because I'm excited to see what Gallberry honey tastes like. I've never ever tried it. Had a nice seal on it, so it's nothing funky. And I just want to see just a spoonful of this stuff, what it is. It's supposed to be extremely rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, and a whole bunch of antioxidants that are good for your body to just eliminate free radicals and all of those things. So let's give this a try and see what it's like. It's delicious. Oh yeah, we're gonna use that for the yogurt. Ooh, yum. So I use honey not just to sweeten up things like tea and stuff like that, but medicinally. It helps me with my allergies, so I only source honey from my state and from the areas where I travel to. And since I'm constantly traveling to North Florida, I figured it would be prudent to start working with developing some type of immunity to the plants in that area. Honey helps with that. You take it every so often, kind of like a spoonful of honey, and your body will just eventually get used to the allergens and stuff, and you'll develop an immunity to that allergy. You'll still react, but it won't be as intense. And I've noticed that I've gotten a little bit better with my reactions, so we're doing okay. Okay, so I'm spooning out this yogurt, and I am measuring about 2.5 tablespoons. You don't want to add this ahead of, like, when it's still warm, because you'll kill all those live active cultures. You don't want that. You want that alive. Okay, to this, we're going to use some of this Gallberry honey, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons as well. As you noticed, I did the yogurt first into the warm milk. The honey just slides right out. Okay. That over here. Set this all aside, and I'm just gonna stir it really well. Let me show you here, guys. I just want to dissolve all the yogurt, all the honey. Make sure it's really well distributed. There's no clumps. That's it. That is as much as we have to do. So, popping this back into the Instant Pot. Here we go. There we are. And then, to prep it, I have removed the gasket from the lid. And that's what you want to do. Because removing that gasket, this is going to ferment in there, and the last thing you want is to create pressure. So we locked it, making sure this is vented, and then we're going to come down here, and you see where it says yogurt? We're going to press yogurt. That's going to go on low for 8 hours. Start. So later on this evening, we'll have yogurt. Now, depending on how thick you enjoy your yogurt and you prefer it, you would be straining it. It's got really dark in here. Let me turn on the light because of the weather coming in. It's a nasty storm. It looks like it's about to rain. So if you like your yogurt thick, then we will strain it just like me. I like it thick. I like the good thick Greek yogurt. So I'm going to use cheesecloth and a strainer and strain that yogurt overnight so that we have the actual yogurt and the whey water underneath. Now I have my bread going. It's rising. It's on its first rise. See how it made a beautiful little dough ball? Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. Oh, I love the smell of fresh yeasty dough like that. Okay, We're gonna let that go. It's doing its thing. That honey tastes so good. Goodness gracious. Now I can't wait to get back up there and get more. She had different kinds. Traditionally, I like to be careful with the honeys that I purchase from people because, especially in Florida, we have palmetto honey and palm honey, and I hate the way those taste. I know it's a personal preference thing. Let me clean up real fast, and then I'll go take a shower. We can get ready for work. But I don't like those, and this one, it was a chance. It was a chance. But that gallberry, we have it. It's very prolific in our area where the land is, and I was reading about it the whole way home, how it is so good for you. And the leaves can be drank as tea. They make a dark tea, and it's been referred to as Appalachian tea, which I've never heard of or had before, but hey, I'm willing to give it a try. But it's supposed to be extremely medicinal and good for you. So we're gonna try all these different things. The medicine that we get from pharmaceutical companies, right? This is probably gonna be controversial and I'm gonna get a lot of negative comments for it, but I'm gonna say it anyways. All of that is derived from plants. All of it. It comes from plants. They figured out how to turn it into a capsule. But, for instance, honey and garlic have antibiotic properties. They help fix you when there's an infection. So does echinacea. What's that other one? Elderberry helps cut the flu in half. And naturally, there's nothing extra to it other than that plant. So, if they're telling me that this plant is medicinal and it'll help me out, I'll start drinking Appalachian tea and having gallberry honey. Why not, right? All right, let me pop this yogurt in the fridge so I can enjoy it as a snack during my lunch break. Awesome. We've got a lot taken care of today. I still have more stuff to do, but I will be doing all of that stuff after work today. It is what it is. Those are the things that we have to do. So, patience pays. But thanks for hanging in. I'll see you guys a little bit later. All right, friends. So our timer has gone off for the bread, and it is beautiful. So I'm going to use the little gloves that it comes with, and we're just going to take this out of here. That right there. Okay. And it just slides perfectly out. And there's our little loaf of bread. It's perfect. It is barely any effort on my part. It's super hot, so I have to be careful. And then we'll just fish that little paddle out of there in a second using little tools. But that's it. We have homemade bread for the week. No effort. And it's delicious. We're gonna let that cool and then we'll slice it a little later. All right, friends, so our yogurt is done. It is looking so great. It's nice and thick, and we're gonna give it a little try. Now, you guys know I have an unhealthy obsession with glass jars already, right? So here's our yogurt. It's super thick. If you don't want it this thick, I completely understand. I really do. I just like really good thick Greek yogurt. It's a personal favorite of mine. But if you wanted to leave it like a lighter consistency, something a little bit thinner, you could totally do that. But I like to just take a couple of spoonfuls of our thick Greek yogurt and then a tiny teaspoon of some homemade raspberry jam, or whichever jam you prefer. Could totally do this with fruit, fresh fruit if you wanted to, yogurt with granola, however you want it. Honestly, you could have it just by itself. It's so delicious. But I'm going to show you guys exactly how I prep mine. So that's it, friends, just like that. A little dollop of jam, a little bit of our yogurt, perfect serving size. Always remember, friends, we eat with our eyes first. So your food should look beautiful and delicious. Let me give this a try. Oh my God, I love this yogurt so much. Ever since we started making our own yogurt, honestly, game changer. Look at how tasty. That is so delicious. It's like a dessert almost. And you could have it for dessert. Now, I don't necessarily make the yogurt that sweet. I like it a little bit more tart because I'm pairing it with fruit or with jams, things that nature that make it sweet. So you guys make the best decisions that are the best for you. That's how we enjoy it. And we will have this a couple times a week. The little glass jars, I love my glass jars, but the little glass jars will help you keep the serving size together, because I don't know about you, but I could serve a whole bowl of that and just have that and call it a day and eat only the yogurt. But again, we're trying to make good choices and be healthy. Thank you guys so much for being here with me and sharing with me and going through all of these experiences with us as a family. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you guys every single day. Thanks for all the love and support. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. Comment, share. I love to hear your comments. We worked really hard these past few days, and I think they're going to be getting a little bit better, a little bit easier. We'll see. Fingers crossed, right? And that's what the new year brings for us and what the end of this year brings for us. I wish you guys the happiest of holidays. Thanks so much for joining. Have a good one. Hugs and kisses.